Guys, today we'll be looking at the ultimate celebrity conspiracy theory time capsule. The creator will be on the screen and in the description below. Let's check it out.
First thing that we're going to be talking about is Rudolph Valentino's cursed ring. Rudolph Valentino had a gold band set with a tiger's eye stone, and it was very beautiful, but yes, it was said to be cursed. The story goes that around 1920, Rudolph Valentino was shopping in an antique store in San Francisco when he came across this beautiful gold ring with a tiger's eye stone at the center. The shopkeeper actually warned him and said that ring has brought nothing but bad luck to anybody who's ever owned it. Valentino smiled and said, "Then it's perfect for me."
But how is that ugly ass ring cursed? Like, that doesn't make sense. A ring is cursed? Honestly, from that evidence, fairs, bro. It's cursed. Fuck it. It's cursed.
The moment he slipped this ring on his finger, his luck began to change. His next film was a complete failure, a rare flop in his career. Around this time also, his marriage to Natasha Rambova began to crumble under the pressure of fame and scandal. Critics mocked his masculinity.
Damn, his career was going downhill. Then he lost his bit. Damn, bro. It's tough. Honestly, feel for him.
Newspapers ran jokes questioning his sexuality, etc., and the media really just started to absolutely turn on him. What was once a so well-desired actor and successful was now just being mocked and made fun of and having flop movies. Valentino was promoting one of his films and he suddenly collapsed in New York City. Doctors discovered that he had an ulcer that had developed into an infection of the abdominal cavity.
What's she saying? An ulcer? What is an ulcer?
And just like that, at 31 years old, the world's most famous man was now dying. For days, newspapers reported hourly on updates on his condition. Fans gathered outside of the hospital. Women wept openly in the streets.
They wept openly? These hoes doing too much. What the fuck? What are you doing weeping? Get a job.
The day of his funeral, tens of thousands of fans flooded Manhattan. Chaos broke out. People fainted. Several women were reported to allegedly attempt to take their own lives.
Take your own life over him? At that point, just do it. I'm not gonna lie.
So rumors began to swirl instantly that the ring that Valentino purchased was cursed and caused his death. The first person to inherit the ring was a woman named Paula, who was rumored to be Valentino's fiance at the time of his death. And overcome with grief, she took the ring as a keepsake, but soon after she became gravely ill and hospitalized for months. Her once promising career began to fade.
So they just watched this nigga die and they thought it was a good idea to just keep passing it down? Who in the right mind would do that? Throw that shit in the fucking garbage disposal. Destroy it, bro. Destroy it. Like, I don't understand. You just watched him die. They told him it was cursed. I'm just gonna shut up.
Next, the ring was passed down to Russ Columbo.
Why do they keep passing it down? Why?
His ex-fiance allegedly said that she gave it to him because he was the second coming of Rudolph.
Damn, this is full of fucking idiots.
In 1934, Russ Columbo was accidentally shot and killed by his friend while visiting a photographer's home. Then the ring went to Joe Casino, who was a friend of Columbo's. After several years, curiosity finally got the better of him and he slipped it on, and within a week, he was struck and killed by a car. Then the ring was passed down to Joe Casino's brother, Del Casino, who also refused to wear it, but misfortune followed from the ring anyway, and during a burglary, one of the thieves who stole it was shot dead by the police with the ring still in his pocket. And the story still didn't end there. In the 1940s, an actor named Jack Dunn was preparing to star in a biopic about Rudolph Valentino, and as part of a publicity stunt, Jack Dunn borrowed the original tiger's eye ring to wear for photos, and within weeks he was suddenly dead of a rare blood disease at 21 years old.
They must have thought this shit was a game. I don't know why. They just saw you just watched three niggas get unalive just for having the ring. And you keep touching it. Why? Stop touching it.
This was allegedly the final straw, and the ring has been reportedly sealed in a vault in Los Angeles where it still remains to this day.
I honestly don't know why they want to keep it. Like, this is some weird ass shit. And they're hiding in LA? Yeah, there's some weird shit going on.
mysterious death of Thelma Todd. So Thelma Todd was a very popular Hollywood actress at the time, and on the night of December 14th, 1935, Thelma attended a lavish party hosted by director Stanley Lupino and his wife, actress Ida Lupino. Around 2 a.m., her chauffeur, Ernest Peters, drove her home to the cafe that she co-owned with her business partner and rumored lover, director Roland West. Her chauffeur claims that he dropped her off at the bottom of the long winding staircase that led up to her apartment above the restaurant, and she told him she'd let herself in and she was fine and good night. And that was the last time anyone saw Thelma Todd alive.
Yo, Ernest Peters, I'm on to you. Oh, I'm on to you. You were the last person with her. You dropped her off. Am I missing something? Maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, you were the last person to see her alive. What's going on here? What's going on here, buddy?
A maid named May Whitehead discovered Thelma Todd's body slumped over in the front seat of her car, parked in the garage of Roland West's home, just a few blocks above the cafe. She was wearing the same white satin evening gown for her party, her makeup was still intact, and a mink coat was draped around her shoulders. The engine wasn't running, the windows were rolled up, and Thelma Todd was dead.
That shit looks staged. It already looks staged.
The coroner's report ruled her death as an accidental carbon monoxide poisoning. The official narrative was very simple, and people just didn't accept this.
And that doesn't even sound right. Carbon dioxide poisoning in a car? I low-key never heard of that happening in a car. I've only heard of that happening in a house. And the body just looks planted there. It just doesn't even look. Yeah.
Investigators theorized that Thelma, possibly locked out of her apartment after the party, tried to sleep in her car to stay warm, and she apparently left the car running, and she succumbed to the carbon monoxide in the enclosed garage, which is a plausible conspiracy theory if you don't look at some of the things that just don't add up here. Her shoes were completely scuffed up, so that would indicate that she climbed this steep hill from the cafe to the garage by herself, which is an exhausting feat, especially for a woman in heels, late at night after several drinks.
After several drinks, you think she climbed up the hill? Yeah, that shit did not happen. I revert back to a fucking 5-year-old while I'm drinking. I start pissing myself in my sleep. Like, there's no way.
The garage door was also closed from the outside, and the position of her body didn't align with someone who had merely just fallen asleep.
That's exactly what I just said.
She also had a deep bruise on her lip and blood in her mouth. People claim that there were marks on her throat, consistent with a struggle, and her nose was broken. That doesn't happen from just a carbon monoxide poisoning. A lot of people believe that Thelma Todd was actually murdered, and then her body was staged to look like it was an accident.
That's exactly what I was thinking. There's no way. Her nose is bleeding. She has bruises from carbon dioxide. Did they even look into this shit? 1922? Did they even look into this? Or, probably 1930s, I think. 1930s? Did they even look into this shit? There's no way.
So obviously, fingers first pointed at Roland West, who was Thelma's business partner and sometimes lover. They had a tumultuous relationship full of shouting matches that their neighbors corroborated and said happened all of the time.
Oh, they must have wrote that Ernest nigga out because he was the last person that saw her. Yeah, he's bugging. And they didn't arrest him just off of that. Nowadays, that shit is not sliding. They would arrest him just off of that. Back in the 1930s, they did not give a shit. They did not give a fuck at all. This shit is crazy.
A waitress who worked at the cafe that they owned even said that Thelma told her that Roland would kill her someday. So there was a man named Lucky Luciano who was a New York mob boss who had been expanding his operations in Los Angeles, and he was known to frequent at the Sidewalk Cafe, and that's where the rumors kind of spread that he wanted to use Thelma Todd's business as a front for illegal gambling, and Thelma obviously reportedly refused.
Wait, what's wrong with that?
Friends, she claimed that she had made powerful enemies, and some of her friends even say that Luciano directly threatened her, but who knows? Ultimately, her death was ruled an accidental carbon monoxide overdose, even though, again, there were a lot of things here that just didn't add up, and a lot of people think the mob was involved, or her boyfriend's business partner could have been involved in some way. I want to hear your guys' thoughts though.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with her boyfriend, and he had ties to the police or whoever was running that case, and they just didn't care. They obviously didn't care. It's just corruption, bro. What it is, what it seems like.
Black Dahlia. So this is one of Hollywood's darkest unsolved mysteries. To this day, people still talk about it. Of course, in January of 1947, a young woman and a hopeful actress was found brutally murdered in a vacant lot in Los Angeles. Her body was posed, drained of blood.
That's so fucking disgusting. Drain her blood? Please tell me you found her.
It was revealed that Black Dahlia was actually a woman named Elizabeth Short. She allegedly had moved to Los Angeles to chase her Hollywood dreams, and she began renting a room behind the Florentine Gardens nightclub on Hollywood Boulevard and was working as a waitress while pursuing acting opportunities. So on the morning of January 15th of 1947, a woman and her 3-year-old daughter were walking in this Los Angeles neighborhood and found Elizabeth's body. The scene was obviously very grotesque. She was posed in a very theatrical and horrifying way. She looked like she was always smiling.
Oh. I'm gonna get this nigga. What the fuck?
And of course, the headlines absolutely exploded here. So the narrative around this time was definitely one of terror. It was basically like Hollywood's dream machine was producing all these victims and hidden sex deals and gangsters and corrupt cops. Like there was mass hysteria around this, really. And rightfully so, because there was some really shady shit going on at the time. And a lot of people believe that Elizabeth Short was murdered by a Hollywood insider.
That is not crazy to say. It's not crazy to see at all, actually. Niggas are weird. Niggas are so weird. You wouldn't believe it. Like, think of the worst shit and there's people doing it. I guarantee you, it's bad out here, especially in America. It's bad out. Actually, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
A lot of people thought that she had romantic liaisons with powerful men and links to the film studios and also cross connections with corruption that was going on in the police department. It's theorized that Elizabeth Short got too close to the truth. The Black Dahlia definitely scared the hell out of people in Hollywood at the time, and a lot of people saw it as a warning to not be digging too deep into these Hollywood circles and dealing with these elite people and people who might, and Hollywood insiders, celebrities, whatever you wanted to call them at the time, mostly like producer side of things. And if you got involved with these shady people, terrible things could happen to you, and obviously they did.
I don't even gotta say too much about it, bro. I don't even gotta say too much about that, bro. Niggas already know about that shit. Like I said, bro, name the worst shit you could possibly think of. Donald Trump's doing that shit, nigga. What the fuck? I don't give a fuck. Nah, let me chill. There's somebody that everybody loves. There's somebody that is loved by a lot of people doing the worst shit right now. Telling the truth, bro. It's the truth. The truth. Like, you gotta be retarded if you don't think niggas aren't doing this shit.
James Dean's cursed spider Porsche. So everyone knows the actor James Dean, and in 1955 he purchased a Porsche 550 Spider, and it was named Little Bastard. And almost immediately the people around James Dean claimed that this car just had a bad energy. Actor Alec Guinness, who later on went to play Obi-Wan Kenobi, met James Dean outside of a restaurant just a week before his car crash. And when James Dean showed him his Porsche, Alec reportedly stepped back and said, "Please never get in that car. If you do, you'll be found dead within a week."
Right there, I would have been like, yes, sir. No questions asked. He looks like a wise man. I would trust every word he says to me. He said that shit like he knew it was gonna happen too. Like, I would have been like, okay. Hey, you don't gotta tell me twice. Shit. Yes, sir, Gramps.
And then he was. So what do you mean? So on September 30th of 1955, James Dean's Spider crashed and the scene was horrific. He obviously ended up passing away. And he was just 24 years old at the time.
See, and he was 24 years old too. Should have listened to the wise man. I don't really know James Dean. R.I.P. James Dean. R.I.P.
After the crash, George Barris purchased what was remaining of the Porsche Spider for $2,500. He planned to salvage the parts and display the wreck as a cautionary exhibit about road safety. But while he was unloading the car at his garage, the car slipped from its trailer and crushed a mechanic's leg. George Barris ended up selling the engine of that car to two doctors named Troy McHenry and William Esmond, both amateur racers. And during a race, McHenry's car, using the Porsche engine, spun out of control and hit a tree, killing him instantly. And William Esmond's car, which contained other parts of James Dean's Porsche, suddenly seized up mid-race and caused it to roll over and injure him severely. He says that a thief thief who tried to steal the steering wheel was burned badly by the sparks when it short-circuited. He claimed that a delivery truck that was transporting the car caught on fire, destroying nearby vehicles, and the spider was loaned to a different highway safety exhibit, only for the building to burn down weeks later.
This is some Final Destination shit. I'm scared. If this ever happened to me, I don't even know what I would do. I think I would just end it all. You're not gonna take me out on some shit where you rip off my skin, torture me in the worst way possible. Fuck no. I will kick the bucket before any of that shit happens.
And then in 1960, while being shipped to yet another exhibit, I don't know who the hell wants this at their exhibit, the little bastard vanished entirely, somewhere between Miami and Los Angeles. And to this day, it was never recovered and nobody knows what happened to it. And I wonder what happened to the car. How did it just disappear? What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
This is actually some Final Destination shit. It's freaking me out. It's freaking me the fuck out.
JFK and Marilyn Monroe. During the 60s, of course, there was a lot of conspiracy theories circulating and rumors about Marilyn Monroe's alleged affair with President John F. Kennedy. Once Marilyn Monroe passed away, there was so much conspiracy theory and question on what actually happened to her and why she died, and could the Kennedys be involved, because she was not only having an affair with JFK, but also Bobby Kennedy.
Wait, she was fucking her bro? Damn. You gonna let her fuck the bro? I know he set that shit up. Cause there's no way. There's no way. He just fucking like, this is no way. He had to have coordinated that. Cause I heard he had mad bitches on his meat. There's missing pieces to that. I'm already seeing it.
According to a lot of people surrounding Marilyn Monroe, she claimed to know some very big secrets about the government and was planning on exposing them, because Bobby Kennedy said he was gonna marry her, and then he was just like, no, we're actually breaking up. And that is allegedly why Marilyn Monroe was killed.
If she got killed for that, that's fucked up. And forget what I'm about to say, but that's crazy, bro. But that's fucking insane, bro. The bitch was like, man, bro. Yeah. R.I.P. Marilyn Monroe. R.I.P. Queen.
Elvis Presley is still alive. So obviously Elvis Presley passed away on August 16th of 1977. I do think Elvis is still alive. I mean, not even still. I don't know. Conspiracy theories absolutely flooded the tabloids at this time, where people were claiming to have seen Elvis. There were hundreds of thousands of Elvis sightings in the years following his death, and so many people genuinely believed the conspiracy theory that Elvis was still alive.
I don't know about Elvis, but you know who is though? You know who is? Do you know who is? Okay, I'm just making sure we're on the same page. Also, I love my life. I love my family. I would never do anything to harm myself. And yeah. That's it, guys.
I just assumed that this was like conspiracy theory that happened later with social media, and like people thought that he was seen in the freaking Home Alone movies, etc. I think it's interesting that actually during the time, like after Elvis died, people were immediately talking about conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I thought all this conspiracy theory stuff started in like the 2010s. I didn't know it went all the way back to the 1940s, I think she said. It was between the 1940s and 1960s. But still, I didn't know it went back that far. I thought it started when the internet started, you know, doing it.
In the 1980s was when the theory about Hollywood making a deal with the devil came to be. There was truly like a satanic panic, which was just everybody being scared of like the Church of Satan, Satan in general, how Satan was recruiting people through pop culture, and how Hollywood had made a deal with the devil, and that everything in Hollywood was just villainous and evil. It's interesting because I always wondered when that theory came up, and apparently it was the 80s.
Yeah, I think this stuff happened a lot back then, but I think it still happens today, just not as often.
A lot of this revolved around heavy metal music. In the early 1980s, bands like Black Sabbath absolutely dominated the charts, and their music was loud, aggressive, and often laced with like kind of a dark supernatural imagery. Like Ozzy Osbourne was known as the Prince of Darkness. Like he bit a head off a bat on stage. There was just some crazy shit. A lot of lyrics around the time were talking about death and freedom and rebellion.
You bit the head of a bat. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Eating animals, eating humans, bro. This shit is not normal. They do this weird shit just to die at the age of 25, bro. Like, shit is weird. But in the rock and roll scene, I think that's like their thing. They don't want to grow old. But I'm like, damn, bro, you don't want to make it 30, 40? Shit, like the 27 Club. Y'all remember when Uzi said that?
As he is? Listen here. At age 27, I will leave this earth for this man right here. He's the Pale Emperor.
Now, Marilyn Manson.
I don't know shit about rock and roll, but it was like all them niggas who died at 27. I just don't see the point, bro. You can't take the money to the grave. Now in 2026, when people talk about signing a deal with the devil, it's mostly gimmicks. Artists just want people to talk about them now, and it works. And it's not just artists, it's every celebrity. And it works. I'm not hating, but I'm just saying. But those are just bad gimmicks. I don't know why you would want to say sign a deal with the devil. Niggas don't fuck with that. Like what?
And people thought it was more metaphorical in a sense, but people's parents, like the teenage fans' parents, thought it was prophecy and thought that that meant the devil was coming to Hollywood. Religious groups ended up claiming that music was part of a coordinated effort to indoctrinate the youth to Satanism, and that is all where it started, was the 1980s. So in the 90s, there were 3 deaths that sparked some of the biggest conspiracy theories of all time. We're briefly going to talk about them. Biggie, Tupac, and Princess Diana. So with Tupac, a lot of people thought that his death was faked and that he was faking his death and that he's still alive somewhere out there to this day. People still think that. Whereas Biggie's death honestly has a lot of conspiracy theories as well. Well, first of all, a lot of people thought Tupac was murdered by P. Diddy in a sense.
Everybody and their mother has heard this story a million times. Yes, him and Biggie were murdered by P. Diddy. Next. I don't give a fuck. He did it. And even if he didn't do it, he still likes kids. So we're just gonna frame this on him.
And I think my favorite conspiracy theory from the early 2000s is that Britney Spears was a puppet to basically hide what the Bush administration was doing at the time. So in 2007, Britney Spears was having very public meltdowns. She was having a public divorce, custody battles over her children, and basically paparazzi was following her everywhere. She shaved her head, she chased someone with an umbrella. You know the drill if you were here. It was a time.
I wasn't here during this time. I wonder how it was just seeing all this unravel. Like, what the fuck? Like, she's tweaking, bro. I didn't even hear about the story. I mean, I always heard about the situation, but I never actually looked into it until like last year. And now she's kind of just a tweaker on TikTok. It looks kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a moment, and it was all anybody was talking about. But it was also simultaneously the same time that the Bush administration was doing some shady shit. People have really had this long-running conspiracy theory that Britney Spears' public breakdown was used as a distraction from the Bush administration and all of the shit that he was doing at the time. I don't know if I necessarily think her crash out and her, mental health issues were because of this or like implanted on her, but I do think that the media definitely used this as a distraction, and I think they use kind of everything as a distraction still to this day. Any big pop culture news, yeah, they're gonna take it and run with it.
Yeah, the media uses distractions all the time. I'm gonna put up a few instances right here, but everybody knows. At this point, we're all just desensitized to it, and nobody seems to care.
Now we're moving on to the 2010s. This is when the Beyonce, Jay-Z Illuminati theory really popped off.
And we're gonna end there right there. Thank you for watching. Peace.